So I think there's obviously a huge stigma between content creators and photographers, videographers, whatever.
Hmm.
Um, so let's give the people what they want.
Let's give
Why
them.
is there such a beef between content creators and photographers and videographers? Ellie, it's great to have you on the show.
Hello, Joe.
Tell us a bit about yourself and what it is that you do.
Well, me, Ellie. I'm from the moment. That is my name, and I think it came from literally. I was always capturing the moment, so yeah, that's why I called it that. And no one else at the time had that name, and I still don't think anyone else does. But yeah. So and basically, what I do is content creation. So I do it for weddings and brands as well.
Yeah.
But focus on the weddings. I've been doing it now since December 2023. That was when my first wedding was. And I had quite a few weddings in 2024. And then it's led to me continuing that in 2025.
And on the Wedding Playbook podcast.
And on the Wedding Playbook podcast.
What a day,
Where
right?
else would I be?
And what a very special guest, because you've actually got my seat today.
I know.
So I feel like I'm
This
the
is my
interview.
seat today.
I am the interviewee.
Yeah, I've had this seat because this side of my face, I don't know who she is. I don't know who that is.
It's Patricia.
It's this Patricia. She doesn't come out. So I was like, I'm having this seat. And yeah.
I was too scared to say no.
He was way too scared to say no. He was like, okay, I'll do it for you.
Yeah, whatever you
I
want.
quite like it though. I get why you.
It's a cosy
it.
chair.
Yeah, it's cozy.
Yeah, I don't.
Could have a cushion.
I don't know how I
maybe,
feel
or-
about it being over this side.
I mean, you've got more room
Yeah.
to extend your arm.
I'm going to see this side of my face for the first time as well.
Yeah, have fun with that.
I might not like it. I don't know. So
least
what made you want to start getting into content creating?
Do you know what? I was like 9 on a family holiday with like a video recorder doing like tours around where we were
The
staying.
old ones with the screen that pans
the screen
out.
would
Yeah.
come out and you put your eye in it. I used to literally do that, and we've still got them now. And I'd be like, come with me and see the pool, and I'd be all doing stuff like this.
So you were a vlogger before
I was a
vlogging was
vlogger.
cool.
Yeah, and do you know what? Now I think I should have done it because some of these YouTubers,
Useless, mate.
well, they're useless and they're killing it. So
Yeah.
if they had me, but that's another story. But no, so and as well, like when I was younger, I had a Nikon camera and I was always taking pictures, and I used to ride horses and I made horse riding videos. So I've always been into editing and content. I think when I was actually in school, we used to go on school trips and I would bring a little camera
Yeah.
and film it and make a video of it and put it on Facebook. Like I was that girl. And then it was sort of like 2023.
Like an old Tumblr account.
Literally, I was that girl. I was that girl. And then I've been in marketing since I graduated uni. I've done social media, I've taken pictures, whatnot. And then in 2023, I just started taking pictures more, like on holiday, when trips away at the time. And it was all on an iPhone because I was like
Yeah.
discovering the capabilities of iPhone. I was like, this is insane. Like they're actually so good.
Yeah.
So it was all on an iPhone 14 Pro. And then I went through a bit of a period in my life where I felt a bit lost. I was like, I haven't got a purpose. I had my job, which I enjoy. I enjoy my day job, but I wanted something that I was passionate about and that I could put myself into. But I didn't know what. And then I just come across wedding content creators, and I was like, oh my God, I love weddings. I love love. That's
Yeah.
all I've ever wanted, is to get married. I was that girl that was watching Say Yes to the Dress on repeat when she was younger. So it just made natural sense. Like I'm a people person.
Yeah.
And I think when you're at weddings, you need to be really approachable, really fluffy, really happy. And I think that I can be that person.
Yeah.
So yeah, it just naturally fell into it. And here we are. It's been like the best decision I made.
And how are the weddings going?
Good, really good. So I think my first one I did for free. I approached loads
Yeah.
of wedding venues and was like, please let me
Help.
help me, capital letters, please. And luckily I had this lovely couple called Sophie and Will. They were amazing. They got married at the Ravenswood.
And that was your first
That
wedding?
was my first wedding. And they were so pleased with it. And even back then, when I watched the content back then, I've grown so much in my style and perfecting how I do content creation. And then from that, the bookings just went mental.
Yeah.
And then last year I was so busy, especially in the summer. Like I had a few weddings a month, which obviously for someone that's got a full-time job as well, I was so busy. But I was loving it. And then currently this year I'm sitting at about 16 weddings so far. And I've got 4 booked in for next year.
Nice.
So I think considering, how my time is so split with
Yeah.
day job, I'm happy with the speed it's going,
Yeah.
because I'm also doing business content as well. So
There's a lot of
nice
branches
balance.
with content creating now, right?
so much, because I think it's so good, because you know, some of the brands that I've worked for, I'll go and spend a few hours with them, take content for them, and the next day they get sent all of it.
Yeah.
I don't touch it. They use it on stories. They make reels, and you know, I'm going to one on Tuesday.
Also, with brands, you don't edit it.
No,
You just send them the
just send
raws
it to
and
them.
okay.
Yeah, so I did it in November for a brand, and they've asked me to come back. So I'm there on Tuesday for 5 hours. We've got loads of content things planned, and then the next day I just send it to them, and they they use it on their own socials. So it just saves so much time for them. So even if they're just doing a story like, oh, we've got availability for next week, they've got a nice picture or video for the background. So
as a business owner, it's nice to have, like, it's not always, you don't always have the time to create your own content.
Yeah.
Like, and for us especially, we're too busy making content for other people.
I don't even do it on my own socials.
Yeah. And obviously you need to be in your own content as well. So it's definitely a massive benefit for businesses as well as weddings. So if anyone's watching that's got a business that could benefit from some content creation,
call me.
Call someone else, not Ellie. No, I'm joking. I'm joking.
Well,
Ellie's the
don't
only
name
person. Ellie's the only person you need to call. And it's great to see your progress as well, because we've known each other for a year now.
Nearly a year, yeah.
Yeah. And obviously speaking a year ago, it's so awesome to see the progression and see how far you've come in such a short time as well. It's awesome to see, man.
Yeah, because I think when we first met, I'd only done 2 weddings.
Yeah.
And I think I only had 1 more booked in, and I was feeling quite deflated, and I was a bit like, and then all of a sudden they just sort of come from brides that are like, or bride and grooms that are like, need to book a content creator. Or, oh my God. So,
and it's good to see that you didn't give up on yourself either, because that's where a lot of people go wrong. If a lot of people don't see the numbers come in straight away.
Yeah.
Like I didn't. I had 1 wedding, then I had 3 years without anything, and then it was like 8 weddings. It's like,
oh, okay, yeah.
you're sort of like, okay, it's starting to come now, and then every year it's got better. So,
and also you can compare.
Yeah.
Because there's other content creators do stories like, I've got this many bookings, or I've done this, and then you're like, oh my God, like that's amazing, and I've not done that. And I think that comparison's the thief of joy, really. So you just have
But I think that's the same with everything, right? I mean,
100%.
my second year I had 27 weddings, and I'm like, why has that company got 40 weddings and I've only got 27? You can find yourself in that dark rabbit hole where you're like, oh, I'm not good enough at this. I need to stop. But the more you keep on, the better you get, and say the more bookings you get, and hopefully one day you can sort of make it a full time.
I mean, I've had moments like that. Like, imposter syndrome for me has been the biggest thing.
Yeah.
It's been the hardest thing, imposter syndrome. Of the amount of times I've wanted to just throw the towel in because of imposter syndrome, or my day job's been too busy and I've not been able to keep up with the admin at times. You know, there's been so many reasons why I've been like, I can't do this. But I think the strength in it is carrying on and being actually like, no, like, these couples are so grateful.
Yeah.
And I think it's seeing their reactions and seeing their faces when they get the content back, or like, you know, getting the texts from them. That's what makes me so happy, and that what makes me think, no, you actually are doing an all right job. So,
and it's a really nice moment when you get that text or the review or the initial like feeling that they get when they get the images back, and you're like, okay, this is my couple.
Yeah.
Like, I done that for them.
Yeah.
And whether you've got 2 weddings or 200 weddings a year, like as long as you get that feeling,
oh, it's the best feeling.
Then it's
the
enough,
best feeling.
right?
Yeah, I love it. And especially sometimes, like when they upload the reel straight away, that I'll make them the video, I'll make them. They upload it literally the next day, and all their family are commenting on it like, this is a lovely video. It makes me feel so much joy for them that they've got that lovely moment to share.
Yeah.
So I love that.
It's good, man. You're doing a service, like we're all doing a service for someone's special day. So if you're walking away with a good feeling, then job done, right?
Exactly.
It don't matter.
That's
don't
the
matter
pressure
what.
of it, though. It's literally you've got one shot. It's one day.
Yeah. But once you get past that fear, it's great.
Yeah, it's great. It's good vibes.
So how do you keep up with, there must be a lot of wedding trends, especially for like social media, content creating and stuff like that. How do you keep up with what is popular in the industry?
So I think with sort of like content creation, obviously you see a lot of stuff on TikTok, you see a lot of stuff on social media, you can see, you know, what's happening in other weddings. I think that is really interesting, is seeing what's happening at other weddings that other photographers, videographers, content creators are at. I think for me, with the trends aspect of it, I don't usually focus on that too much.
Yeah.
Because each one of my couples so far have been so different. You know, I've had one couple that they had probably about 5 or 6 couple sessions with me and the photographer. And I had one couple that literally had one and didn't want any more. And I think that my style is very storytelling, it's not like fast or in your face. It's very slow. And I think that I get hired for that reason, and I get told, oh, I like your style. And I think that when I'm at a wedding, my main priority is to capture them and what they like. I don't think too much about, oh, you know, you need to do this because this is really trending at the moment. I think a lot of my couples just want content that they can share so quickly in the way that they want it to be like captured. So for me, I've not really done a lot of sort of like TikToks or reels. I offer it to my clients. Like I say, do you want to do like a funny, you know, transition? Because there's loads of them. But so far, none of them have actually wanted it. I think that they just like, I think my style. And I think if some people do want that sort of fun stuff, they'll go sort of elsewhere. But I think the one that most couples love that I do offer is the sunglasses one. Where everyone puts on the sunglasses and you take a video or a picture of them. That's quite fun.
You like stitch it together.
Yeah, and I just put it together. It's like a pair of love heart sunglasses, and I think it's
I
really
love
fun.
a love heart sunglass.
Oh, me too.
As soon as the party started and the lights go down and they come out, you know, we're in for a good night.
Yeah, I feel like I'd wear them every day if it was more socially acceptable.
It's fine.
Do you think?
Yeah. Why not? Be eccentric.
Why not?
What's the point in having this curly hair if you're not going to wear sunglasses that are made of love hearts?
You want to do.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, but happy. No. I get, because I love it, because all the elderly people, they love it. Some of them don't, and they're like, no, thank you. And I'm like, no worries at all. Some of them like, yeah, give them over. And they do silly, you know, videos and silly faces, and I think it's really good. I just normally wait until the drinks are flowing a little bit.
Yeah, you know, you can get involved then, and
and I make a joke out of it. I'm like, come on.
Yeah.
I'm like, do it for them.
Come on, mate.
Come on.
See, I think I've built a good reputation for myself for being quite convincing.
Oh, okay.
Well, I mean, I've got you on the show.
You've got me on the show, which can I say, guys? He's been asking me for about 2 months. It was like early December, and I was like, no.
I haven't been begging.
No, not at all.
But yeah, I think I've built a good reputation for myself for being quite convincing. I remember there was a couple last year, Helen and Gavin. They weren't going to have a first dance. I was like, come on, like you need to. You're going to regret this moment if you don't. And we need 30 seconds. That's all I need. Yeah. They ended up doing the whole song and this like choreographed awesomeness, and it's one of my favourite first dances that I've ever shot. So I think it's nice when you've got that sort of capability of getting people to do what looks good on camera, and you know that. So my biggest thing for couples is that it may be embarrassing right now, but in 20 years' time, you're going to really appreciate that you've done that. Yeah. Because who's going to give a monkeys about your wedding video in 20 years apart from you?
It's true. I think, I agree with you actually on that. I think sometimes couples I have seen do need a little bit of encouragement. Yeah. And I think that's good, because in the moment, if they're feeling a bit nervous in front of the camera, you just give that encouragement. You say, come on, you'll love it tomorrow. Yeah. I mean, one of my couples, I was telling them, like, run through the field, pick her up, spin her around. And the next day, I got such a lovely message about it. So I think, little positive reinforcement.
Yeah, you can feel like a tit for a minute, but if it looks good on camera, who cares?
I mean, you're happy, I'm happy.
Yeah, and if you're a groom and your wife wants to do it, you're doing it whether you like it or not.
No sulking.
No, it's not your day, mate.
No.
So are there, like, with the weddings that you've done, are there any unexpected moments that you've captured?
Do you know what? So far, no, apart from one. It was unexpected just because it was like, I didn't know until it sort of was announced to me. I was told as a surprise. But a bride and groom were pregnant, and they were
that's such a nice moment, man.
I know. And
I almost ruined someone's surprise for that.
Oh, God.
And if you're watching, Jenna and Stuart, I'm really sorry. So they told us the morning of, I believe, that they were pregnant, and they were going to announce it at the end of speeches. Yeah. And they had the baby scan that they wanted to do it with. And I'm like, amazing. Like, anything like that, you're like, it's an honour to be a part of that 100%. Message. And it's happened a few times now for me, which is lovely. But they wanted a shot of the baby scan, actually, in the video and the photos. So I totally spaced and went over and asked the bride for this baby scan, but she was talking to one of her guests. And I think it managed to be played off. Yeah. And it was a nice surprise still. But I was like, as soon as I said it, I was like, oh, no.
What have I done? I'm going home.
And then just walked off.
No, but it's so true. Like, I had the fear the whole time I was there. They only hired me for 4 hours.
Yeah.
But I got shown the baby scan in the box. She told all her bridesmaids. It was a beautiful moment. We had to sneak them off for a little photo session of like the baby scan and whatever. And the whole morning I was there, I was like, please, Ellie, don't say to someone, oh, it's so lovely that they're having a baby, isn't it? Because I thought, I'm about to ruin it. So I was so nervous that I was going to open my mouth accidentally. Luckily I didn't. And I wasn't actually there for the reveal, but it was being told that. And I was like, okay, there's a new element to this.
Yeah.
And it was really lovely. But otherwise, no unexpected. I think most of my weddings have been pretty like, you know.
Well, we'll get you back on here in a year.
Okay, yeah.
Because I've got a feeling that 2025 is going to go off.
Yeah.
I think 2024 was awesome.
Yeah.
And everyone that I've spoken to, their weddings in 2024 was so good.
Yeah.
But I just got a feeling that 2025 is going to hit different.
Yeah, I feel like a lot more people are just starting not to
care.
And I'm noticing, especially like the photography trends that are coming on, it's more the blurry images, the natural, the candid, the fun.
So let's talk about the blurry images. What's your opinions on the blurry images?
I like them.
Really?
I love them. And when I get married, if I ever get married, fingers crossed, I will have some blurry images. I think they're so cool. You know, I've seen some in like streets like London and you know, lifts and things like that. Like I did a wedding with David Dean, photographic, incredible.
Yeah.
And you know, some of like his style was similar to that, like that he posts on his Instagram grid. I think it's great.
See, I've got opinions on it. So motion blur I think is great. Like you see in London, if the couple is still and then you've got moving cars or moving people, I think that's great and that's quite artistic. But when you're just taking a picture of a pair of shoes.
Oh, okay. No, pointless to me.
Yeah, that to me is like, if you looked at that 10 years ago, you'd be like, that's an awful photo.
Yeah, what did they take that on?
And now people are like, that's incredible.
Yeah.
I don't get it.
No, yeah. I get what you're saying. I think with like objects, no. But there's one where like the groom will lift the bride and spin her around, and when they make that blurry black and white effect, I think that's really cool.
See, I think with trends and stuff like that, trends are always changing.
Yeah.
So I think I may have said on the podcast before my opinions on blurry photos. I think if you're gonna do that and that blurry photo of a pair of shoes or whatever, or this motion blur, you've got to take a normal one as well.
Oh, 100%.
Just in case, because in 20 years' time, that trend's not going to be good anymore.
And also
just like 10 years ago, that trend wasn't good then.
And also the couple might not 100% like it.
Yeah.
I agree with you on that. I think if you're going to do blurry, you also need to do not blurry.
Yeah, I just think you need to cover all bases, you know, like, because it's cool now, but it's not going to be, I don't think it's going to be cool in.
No, I think you're right. I think it will change. I think at the minute it's sort of this like, I think a lot of couples are getting married in London and it's all that sort of relaxed, blurry, bougie style. But I think it will evolve because obviously it evolved anyway.
Every
like that before.
Style and trend of photography. Like even this year, I think we're going to see some really interesting things this year. I don't know what, but it changes every year, which is so awesome because you know there's no cap on creativity.
No, 100%. But I also think it's really just down to the couple. Like you know, you see on Instagram, like photographers posting their couples wanted the coloured smoke bombs.
Yeah.
But you know that some couples would be like, no, thank you. That's like no, thank you. That does not fit our vibe.
See, I think the trend with smoke grenades is changing a little bit now as well, because it's falling into that bracket now of like, everyone's done it. How do we do it so that it's a bit different? And I think smoke grenades are always going to be awesome. I love it, but I just think that's the bloke in me. Just I like anything pyro and fire. Smoke. It's bright pink. But I think the walking with it, I think is going to change. Yeah. And because I like the intimate stuff with smoke, like just the couple where they've got their own smoke and you can get a bit fun and a bit funky with it. So I think that's going to start changing. Yeah,
definitely. I think, and you know, like one of the ones for me, I've had one so far and I was quite excited about it. It's a champagne tower.
Okay, I
think they're quite bougie. I think that was really fun when I found out that there was going to be a champagne. I was like, oh, I'm excited for that. I've not captured one of them before. So I just think I'm looking forward to just having such a wide variety of weddings because I've got weddings this year that are to the book, really traditional, church, venue, sit down meal, and then I've got a wedding that is on the beach and they're having fish and chips for their meal.
Love that.
Do you know what I mean? So it's completely different, and I'm really excited to just see all these weddings and take inspiration.
I just think it's so like no two weddings are the same.
No.
Like the structure of it is always quite similar.
Yeah.
But every couple's different, every style is different, and I just think it's such an awesome industry to be in.
It's
because
fun.
no 2 days of work are the same.
No, it's always different, and yeah, I think you've hit the nail on the head there. It's just different venues, different things going on.
Yeah.
And I think especially when I have my discovery calls with them, I love knowing
Yeah.
all of the random things that they've got going on.
Well, you can incorporate like them into their wedding videos and
Yeah.
photos then as well, which is
Exactly.
like they may know what you're doing, like these little Easter eggs, but not everyone else might.
No, I
which
agree.
is
Like I had one couple in September. They were brilliant. They were such a nice couple, and they had a piñata tied to a tree, and everyone was just smacking it, and all this candy come out, and then they had like a giant Jenga that they put up, and I love that. That's one of my things I love is when you give things for your guests to do. You know, I've had mini golf, I've had like games, piñata, Jenga. I think that's such a good idea to have stuff for your guests to do while they're mingling.
Yeah.
Because it just keeps everyone sort of having a bit of fun.
Yeah,
so I
keeps
think
the vibe
definitely,
going.
yeah, I think that's something that I think is going to keep happening.
Yeah.
Is people having sort of all like magicians.
Just having fun, man.
Yeah, I mean
And
it's a long
enjoying
day,
it yourself
so
as well.
you need
It
to have
is a
fun.
bloody long day.
Yeah.
But it's full of love and full of fun. So
Yeah.
you get the right couple, you get the right job, and it's going to be a breeze.
It's a great day, and they go so fast as
Yeah,
well. As
man.
like a supplier, they go so quick.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think
You're doing prep, and then all of a sudden, first answer's over.
Yeah, and you're like, oh, okay,
Yeah, it's home time.
bye. My back hurts.
So with like talking about trends and themes and stuff, is there anything that you're excited about seeing this year going into this wedding season?
Oh, that's a. Oh, I don't know. I think.
I asked the good questions on this show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They leave you speechless.
Don't get this on Joe Rogan.
And
You might. It's probably better than Joe Rogan. Sorry, Joe.
no comment. I am looking. To be honest, again, that word trend. I'm not a fan of it. I don't because trend. Just be you, man. Just do what you want to do. I'm just excited to see what all my couples are doing at their special days.
Yeah.
Like, for example, my first wedding that I've got coming up, they've got a saxophonist. I love a saxophonist. I want a boogie when he's playing.
And it's not what people feel like when you hear sax. People think like orchestra.
No.
But these are Ibiza
They are.
partiers, man.
They
and
are.
they bring a vibe, man.
They get involved. They're dancing. They're getting you up off your seats. I just think for me, I'm just looking forward to just the variety of what's going to happen. Outside weddings, inside weddings. You know, I love weddings with colour. I've done weddings that are very sleek and just every bridesmaid's in black, every groomsman's in black. That's what I want to do for my wedding.
Class.
I want it
Yeah, I
just
like that.
sleek, simple. But then I also love the weddings where they're a bit boho and every bridesmaid's got a different dress on and there's different flowers. I love it.
Yeah.
I think you can have your own personal taste, but you can appreciate that's beautiful.
Yeah.
And I think for me, I'm just excited to just see how different everyone is and what's important to them. I think that's what I'm excited for.
Nice, man. Be a good season. So what advice would you give for couples that want to incorporate their wedding days into like social media?
I think again, this sort of depends on who you are as a person. So I might have someone come to me that is very social media heavy. They could be a blogger or an influencer or whatever. And I think that for me, if they're like, what's your top tips about posting on socials? The first thing I say is make sure your settings are right on Instagram.
Yeah.
So I give all my couples like an information pack,
Okay.
like a few weeks before the wedding, and it tells them how to use Dropbox, which is where I send my stuff to.
Yeah.
And I tell them what settings to have on their Instagram. And also, if the videos that I give them are longer than 3 minutes, I say don't upload it as a reel because it will cut it off.
Yeah.
So I say upload it as a post, and then you can have that 3-minute long video. I think, having your settings right on Instagram and Facebook so the content doesn't upload really blurry.
Yeah.
Luckily, Dropbox doesn't distort the
I
quality.
actually think that's a good tip for people in the industry as well.
Yeah.
Because I had that with one of my videos recently.
Yeah.
It was a 4 or 5 minute trailer and it got cut off at 3 minutes.
Yeah.
And I didn't know that until that.
And then you're watching it and it ends and you're like, oh,
what's happened.
what's happened here?
Yeah.
The ending was really good. I was buzzing about that ending, and it's gone.
And the ending of this video was sick as well.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's what I mean. And it's heartbreaking, and you have to take it off, and you lose your likes, and you're like, damn it. What was my other tip? I did have another tip. As well, like for me, I save all my content from CapCut. So because obviously all my brides and grooms, they get all the videos and pictures I've taken, but then
Raws,
completely
as well as
raw,
some edits.
So all of it, and then they get, depending on what package they've got. Say if they've got my gold package, they get 4 videos made for them with music.
Yeah.
I save that in 1080p, not 4K, because Instagram and Facebook can't handle 4K.
Okay.
And so it will naturally distort
Like compress it.
Compress it, yeah. So I save it in 1080p so that when they want to upload it, they don't have to worry about that.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think as well, it's just having fun with it. Obviously,
Yeah.
the content's theirs the very next day. It's all set out in their Dropbox folder. I've got different folders for each thing so they can access it quickly. And they just, have fun, upload what you want to upload.
Some very helpful tips there as well. Like I say, not just for people that have got a content creator, but for people in the industry as well.
Yeah.
That's very helpful because we live off of social media.
Yeah.
I get 70% of my work through Instagram.
Yeah.
So it's very helpful for anyone watching. So
Yeah,
if that's helped, send a thank you to Ellie.
Comment below.
Yeah.
Thanks so much.
So what is a typical wedding day like for you?
So it'd just be, from the very start, little, early start, good breakfast, filling breakfast.
Yeah.
Because can't be having any rumbly
No
stomachs.
stopping at McDonald's on the way?
No.
No?
I'm good.
Oh, that fuels me for the day, man.
Joe, come on.
And then it makes me relax at the end of the day.
McDonald's will not keep you full for long enough. It is
That's why you have more.
It's a refined carb. It will not help you. You need to start your day with Greek yogurt, granola, honey, and berries, or a big bowl of porridge with honey, because that is a complex carb.
This has turned to a different podcast.
Yeah, this is
and
nutrition.
I feel like I'm getting told off.
You are. I'm not impressed.
I had a PT on the show and he didn't even tell me off that much.
He should have.
He was also my best friend.
Oh,
So.
there you go then. He's like, no, I don't know his feelings.
Right, so you fill up on a good hearty breakfast.
I also have like a little protein flapjack that I do tend to eat just before the ceremony, because my biggest fear is my stomach rumbling in the ceremony, because I used to do it in school, in exams, and it was embarrassing.
And there's big breaks between when you eat.
So I just... Exactly. So, I typically get there a little bit earlier than I'm actually contracted to, because I like to get my bearings, meet the team there. I typically bring a lunch with me, put it in my fridge, in their fridge, just meet the team, and then I'll go and meet the bride.
Yeah.
Normally is the bride first, go and say hello to her, get comfortable. And then for that first bit of time, obviously this is all dependent on when they have me from, but I'll float between sort of her and her partner, and then just work like that up until the ceremony. And then normally I'll get to the ceremony location and start getting guests arriving and mingling, and then after that it's just sort of, I always say, I think a lot of content creators say, we're like your paparazzi, we're with you all day, but discreetly. I think that's one thing I've received a lot of compliments on. They're like, we didn't even know you were there, because I'm just
nice compliment to
treading
have.
about. I mean, you can see my hair from a mile away, but I think I just stay out of the way. I'm quiet, and obviously I have a laugh with the guests. I think that's really important as well.
I think that's the most important thing, because I say to couples all the time, they're paying to be on camera. You've got to deal with it.
Yeah.
But mums, dads, uncles, cousins, they don't know. They know that there's a camera going to be there.
Yeah.
They don't want to be on camera.
Exactly that.
But I think if you can make everyone feel comfortable.
Yeah.
I think the nicest compliment to get is that they chose the best photographer, videographer, content creator before they've even seen the product.
Yeah.
That's the nicest
100%.
feeling.
Yeah. And I think as well, in my year and a half of doing this, some of my comments are not even about my work. They're about me as a person. I've had so many compliments, like Ellie would just get on with the guests and make the guests laugh. She was such a joy to be around, and that to me is priceless, because I know I'm doing my job.
Yeah.
Because that is my job. I'm not just there to take pictures of you. I'm there to be. I've had vapes in my pocket.
Yeah.
I keep vapes in my pocket for the brides. Like I'm holding drinks. I'm like your literal second maid of honour. I'm like your best.
I've given
friend.
countless brides piggybacks.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
Yes.
I mean, I don't think I could do that. I've got no arm strength.
Yeah. No, I didn't think I did, but
Here you
like
are.
holding the gimbal as well. Still partially
That's a
filming.
workout.
Yeah, I'm talented.
That is impressive, Joe. Wow. Teach me
I had a
your ways.
photographer on my shoulders so that he could get the right shot.
Do you know what? That is teamwork.
Yeah, I'm committed
You are
committed to the cause, mate.
You are.
So what's one piece of advice that you could give to couples that are in the planning process for their wedding at the minute?
Can I have 3?
You can have 3 if you want.
Okay, I'll say them quickly.
Okay.
I can never just have one of anything.
I don't think people will be upset that you've chosen to do 3 rather than 1.
I've got 3, everyone. Buckle up. First one, if you've not fully started planning yet, I think this is amazing. I don't know why I didn't think of this, seeing as I'm in social media and marketing. But 2 brides of mine have done this now, and I think it's genius. Having a wedding email address.
Yeah.
Like, say you've got a couple called Ellie and Joe. Ellie and Joe wedding at gmail.com.
Yeah.
Incredible, because your other email address, you're getting Uber Eats emails.
Everything gets lost, man.
It gets lost. And I think that's such a good idea to have one email
Yeah.
for all your wedding inquiries. And I was like, I'm going to do that.
A lot of people do.
I didn't know that.
And then I've had a lot of people that have emailed me 6 months before the wedding that they've now done this.
Yeah.
So can we put everything through there? Which, I'll be totally honest, it does make things a little bit more confusing because you've got to find their forms and everything and change it. Mm-hmm. And my organisation skills aren't great. So I'm getting better, but sometimes I just get lost.
You just get a bit lost.
Yeah. That's why I asked for phone numbers as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it's a great tip. Great tip.
Yeah, that's my first thing. Second thing is give yourself enough time. I think that you can literally say, I've got ages. And then before you know it, your wedding's 2 weeks away and you've not got a cake.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh my God.
Right, you're taking a trip down to Krispy Kremes.
Yeah, so literally, or your friend's making a cake for you and let's be honest.
Topples.
Might not taste nice.
Yeah, I think people underestimate the timing phase because and again, I get it because it's money. Yeah. Deposits are massive
100%.
For certain people.
Yeah.
And I think as soon as the venue's done, it's usually a photographer, maybe videographer. Usually we're like a last minute jobby as well. And then they'll wait until a year before, 6 months before, until they've maybe recouped a bit more money and know what they can get away with. But I think a 2 year time frame between engagement and or planning and wedding is a sufficient amount of time. And
I think if anyone ever says to you, you've got ages, calm down, ignore them, work to your timeline.
Sod those people.
Yeah.
Let them plan your wedding.
Yeah, and even don't be afraid to ask for help.
Yeah.
I know this is your day, but sometimes the load can be a lot. Like when you're handling it all. And, if your partner isn't that organised either, always ask for external help, I think.
But you can always ask your suppliers as well.
Yeah.
I say this to everyone that books me. If you need help with recommendations, I've got a long list of people that I can recommend. Or if you need help with other things in your planning, give us a call. Especially photographer and videographer. Yeah. If you're worrying about colours or arrangements or something that is important for you on camera, let us know and we could potentially help.
We can help. Yeah, no, I agree. I think my last one, it slightly contradicts what I've just said, but this is more actually on the day. Yeah. Don't sweat the small stuff. Yeah. Because if you...
what can you do?
There's nothing you can do. And don't get me wrong, it's heartbreaking and I'd probably be the same. Like if it starts chucking it down with rain, you're like, for God's sake.
Embrace it. Embrace the rain.
Embrace the moment.
Embrace the rain.
It literally, it's happening.
Get out, get wet.
Yeah. I don't think I would. I'd be
no,
like,
man, we got umbrellas. Yeah, when are you going to wear the dress again? When are you going to wear the shoes again? Yeah. This is my biggest thing. Yes. You cannot control the rain, but you can control your attitude to the rain.
Yes, exactly that.
Get out, get amongst it. Our cameras are water resistant. Mm-hmm. We'll take umbrellas as well. Yeah. And we'll get amongst it.
I'll get wet.
Some of the best photos that you're going to get are sunset and rain.
100%. Yeah, I think, I agree with you. I will get, I've been knee deep in fields, wet, mud. My trainers have been ruined. I don't care because I think tomorrow morning when you're wrapped up in bed all warm looking at some of your content, you're going to be so glad that you didn't go or get annoyed and that you just had fun. Yeah. And it may not have been what you envisaged for your day, but I think you could just never, you can never
Nothing
know.
That you've got on paper, even if you've got the most beautiful weather, everything that you've imagined in your head, it's going to far exceed your expectations anyway. Yeah. So, I agree with all those tips. They are fantastic. Good job.
Thanks. Thanks so much. I was nervous about that.
I'm very proud of you.
Oh, I needed that.
So I think there's obviously a huge stigma between content creators and photographers, videographers, whatever. Mm-hmm. So let's give the people what they want.
Let's give
Why is there such a beef between content creators and photographers and videographers?
I think I sometimes am confused by it,
Yeah.
but I'm a very understanding person and I like to put myself in the shoes of other creatives. I think from comments that I see thrown around, I see comments in Facebook groups about content creators. I see comments on stories. I see it here, there, and everywhere.
Yeah.
Um, I think a lot of the reoccurring comments are that we get in the way. I think some have had some photographers and videographers have had experiences with content creators just not having any spatial awareness,
Yeah.
just completely getting in the
A
way.
lot of photographers don't have, and
Yeah.
videographers don't have spatial
Yeah,
awareness.
I've experienced that. I don't think that's actually down to a profession. That's down to an individual
Yeah.
just not being spatially aware. I mean, that annoys me when I go shopping.
Mm.
So let
Just
alone
walk
being
in a
at
straight
wedding.
line.
Yeah, or don't step in front of me, or
Yeah.
don't stop at the top of the escalator, maybe. So I think that's the first one, is the sort of spatial awareness, and I think they get in the way of shots,
Mm.
and I can understand that frustration. I think the other thing is the quick turnaround. Not I can only speak on behalf of myself, but because I do take some stills
Yeah.
in the day, I'm 98% video,
Yeah.
even 99% video, but I'll take some stills, and I think that photographers might not like that I'm doing that and that the couple are getting it within 24 hours.
Yeah.
They may feel that it takes the sort of magic away from their moment, which again, I understand.
Yeah, I've seen a few people that put out that that's the reason why,
Yeah.
but see, my thing with that is if you're secure in your work, then there shouldn't be a problem with,
Yeah.
because think about it. I don't like it when people's families see us doing our couple shoot. So that's why we try and get them away a bit further,
Private,
so it's a
yeah.
bit private. But sometimes one of them sneaks along,
Yeah.
or you can't escape people, and you end up getting someone's cousin trying to take a photo while they're set up,
Yeah.
and you're just like, just go and enjoy it. Let us have this moment.
Mm.
But they're doing the exact same thing,
They are, yeah.
and no one gets the ump
And
about
no one
that.
gets the and I think that, but then it's funny because you'll have a photographer make a comment and say, "Oh, it's just people with an iPhone. Their family could do that." So then they wouldn't get angry at the family
Yeah.
standing there taking a picture, but they would us. So you can't completely agree with what you're
Yeah.
saying yourself if that's the case. I think, I was at a wedding once where there was actually a lady there who was a guest, and she had a full-blown camera.
Yeah.
And she was sneakily hiding behind trees.
I get
taking pictures.
so pissed off at that.
Yeah, I think that's wrong.
Just because, like, I understand, like, sometimes there's an older it's usually an older bloke,
Yeah.
that,
Yeah.
like an uncle or something, that has brought his professional camera. My thing is, just enjoy your day.
Yeah.
Don't get in our way. And if you're going to do it, don't put a fucking flash on it either.
Oh, I know. Yeah.
Oh, come on.
It's so true, and they're so obvious about it, and I think they don't really understand wedding etiquette, and
No.
they're just in the way. And I think I had this one lady, I was watching her, she was like taking detailed shots of the room set up when no
Yeah.
one was in there, and I thought, oh God, like, is the photographer going to see this and think, what are you doing? But
Yeah. See,
yeah.
I am fully under the understanding that people are going to take photos of weddings on their phones, whatever. The only time that I don't like it is during ceremony.
Oh yeah, because it ruins shots.
Come on, just enjoy that moment.
Mhm.
We are there.
We're doing it, don't worry.
We are getting what we need to
Yeah.
get. But you're right in what you say. Like they wouldn't have a go at the guests for taking photos on their phone.
Yeah.
Just like I wouldn't have a go at a guest if they snuck onto our couple shoot and
Yeah.
took a photo,
I agree.
because it's like you say, what the couple want.
It's what
The couple want you there.
Yeah, they're paying for me to
They're
be
paying for
there.
you to be there. So at the end of the day, you need to suck it up and just get on with it.
Yeah.
Because it's just, when I came into it, there was always this stigma of like photographers and videographers hating each other.
It baffles me.
And it's still there. There's
But
still
I
a stigma there.
But I don't understand it when I get told by other content creator friends that they've had beef with a photographer.
Yeah.
I don't get it. I just think, why? Just everyone's happy.
Yeah.
The day is about the couple. It's what the couple wants.
Yeah.
Why are you putting unnecessary stress on them?
Yeah.
I've had to deal with it myself, where you have to liaise with the client about their photographer, and it's
Yeah.
not fair. I had a bride ring me nearly crying down the phone because she had to cancel me because her photographer had in his contract that he wouldn't work with content creator,
Yeah.
and she couldn't afford because she'd said I'd paid the full balance. And she was so upset and so gutted. And I think that's so unfair because this is her magical day that she's probably been dreaming about since she was a little
Yeah.
girl. And it's not going to be how she wants because you don't want another supplier there.
See,
And I
I
just
don't
think
think
that's unfair.
I don't think anyone should dictate contractually or vocally
Mm,
what a couple can or can't have for their wedding.
no.
I think if you're going to have in your contract that, see, I've got in my contract that I won't work if there's another videographer there,
Yep.
which I think is totally different
Fair enough.
to having a content creator
But I'd
there.
be the same. I wouldn't want to work alongside
No.
another content creator.
But I think if you've got a clause in your contract that states you will not work with X, Y, and Z,
Mm,
you need to tell the couple ahead of time that you will not
Yeah.
work with X, Y, and Z.
I agree.
So that the couple can then make a clear
Make the
decision right
decision.
then and there.
Yeah, and I think that's one of my tips for couples is that if you are considering a content creator or any other creative,
Yeah.
check your contract with your existing creative. Every time I have a couple inquire, I say to them before I ask for details for a contract and a deposit invoice, please check with your other creatives that you have that they're happy.
Yeah.
Some come back and say, oh, they said no. And some come back and say, yep, it's all fine. And then I go ahead because
Yeah.
but also at the same time, I'll be honest, I think it's sad that I have to take that process
Yeah, you shouldn't have to.
because it's sad for them.
You should, in your own business, you shouldn't have to deal with that, and it's not fair on you. It's not fair on the couple. I think some companies need to open their eyes that there is room for content creators in the industry.
Yeah.
Just like there's room for anything in the industry. They say there's so many new things that are coming through, especially post COVID.
Yeah.
That, don't get me wrong, pre-COVID may have been a bit niche or a bit weird or questionable, but social media is a huge thing, and
Yeah.
people want this short, quick.
It's immediate.
And if you send the
gratification.
raws, people want control of their own raws.
They do 100%. And I think the beauty of content creation is I see content creation in a certain way. So whether you're in sport, weddings, beauty, no matter what industry you're in, if you hire a photographer, you know they're coming to take photos.
Yeah,
If you hire a videographer, you know that they're coming to take videos. If you hire a content creator, you know there's going to be a mixture of video and photo.
yeah,
My day job, I do content. If my manager asks me to capture content, I know it's videos and photos.
yeah,
And I think that I understand in particular why photographers might not like it, but also I just see the beauty in both.
yeah,
Photography, the camera quality is incredible. iPhones are amazing,
yeah,
but camera quality is incredible. Their cinematic style, they're the portraits that they're going to likely get framed. You know, I've had couples ask me, can I just have you and not a photographer? And I won't work without a photographer
yeah,
because I'm not having that on the day where the pressure is you want family photos on an iPhone because it won't work.
Yeah.
And any content creator that says, oh, yeah, I do. No. But I also understand the photographer's frustration, especially if a photographer has had a bad experience with a content creator.
Yeah.
Of course, they're going to be nervous about working with another one. I heard of a story that a photographer worked with a content creator, and the content creator bought a professional camera to the wedding.
That is bad.
That is bang out of order. Like
Yeah.
that's not your role to bring a professional camera because that completely steps on the photographer's toes, and that's not okay.
But the thing is as well, like there's no written rules for weddings.
No.
So theoretically, I know of a videographer. So theoretically, I could say I'm a videographer and rock up with GoPros.
Yeah.
And I know that there's a videographer that does that. But there's no rules to say what you can and can't show up with.
No.
And that's where I think this sort of the line gets a bit warped
Yeah.
and a bit sort of naughty. Do you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
because there's unwritten rules that content creator shows up with a phone, videographer shows up with a DSLR or an SLR. That's the unwritten rule. That's what people think they're getting.
That's standard, yeah.
If I was to work with a content creator and they rocked up with a full gimbal and a full camera, like I would be like, I'd be pissed off, but I'd also be like, it's a bit sad because you're clearly not good enough to make it as a videographer. So you've now got to market yourself as a content creator.
Yep.
So that the quality is a bit better than a phone.
Yeah.
But I think I don't know.
I think it's being about transparent about what you are, who you are, what your services are, and sticking to that. I don't think you should get into those blurred lines of, oh yeah, well I'm going to bring a camera and like no, like market yourself as what you are. If you want to be a videographer, invest in the camera,
Yeah.
invest in the training, and go and do that, which I have seen. I have seen people do that.
Well, you said training there. Like, I don't think a lot of people in the industry have had any training.
No, it's just self-taught.
I'm self-taught. I've got nothing on
I am,
paper that I've got, and not many people have got anything on paper that says that they're qualified at doing what they're doing. And I think that the ones that, well, not all of them, but I think some of the people that have got a bit of paper that says they went to university or whatever and got a degree, they're not good.
Well, I think as well, I'm sorry, but I've got a marketing and PR degree, and I've learnt more on the job than I
Yeah.
have in a lecture hall. And I think that it is self-taught, and it is often talent, and
Yeah.
that's why people are photographers and they're not,
Yeah.
because you've either got the flair for it or you don't. And I think you can improve on it and teach yourself how to do it, definitely.
Yeah.
But I think if the passion's not there and the love for it isn't there,
I think, again, this is a lot of people's issues is that a lot of people that are content creating, and I'll be honest with you, I think you're quite open to hearing what I've got to say, and I'm open to hearing what you've got to say as well. A lot of the people that are doing it, I feel, are scamming a living.
okay, yeah,
Especially when you hear like what people are charging.
yep,
So I don't know what I think the cap should be for a content creator.
Yeah.
But when you see people that are charging 750, 800, nearly $1,000
yeah,
for a content creator, I think then you're sort of drawing the line a little bit,
okay,
just because you're then close to getting a videographer who will come and film things in full, microphones and this, that, the other. So I think a price point there is a big factor, especially when you see what they're putting out.
yeah.
So part of the reason I wanted you on the show is because I actually like the work you put out.
Thanks.
And I don't want people on the show who I don't like their work coming out. And I don't want this to, like I said to you, I don't want this podcast to be about bashing content creators. I don't want that.
Mole bashing.
Because if people are good at their job, then they deserve to be in the industry. They deserve to be doing what they're doing. But there are videographers out there. There are photographers out there. There's everyone in the industry that are out there that I also feel are scamming a living.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a lot of bad publicity in the industry at the minute that I do feel needs its own podcast.
Yeah.
And there's a videographer in the spotlight at the minute that is under a police investigation.
Yeah. No human.
And that all boiled down to pricing as well, and quality of work.
Yeah, I think for me, like, obviously I wouldn't divulge on here my prices, but I think my prices, I think from what I've talked to other content creators about, mine are in the middle. There's people that charge more than me and there's people that charge less than me. My prices so far, I've not had many people knock back on them.
Yeah.
Some of them have, because they're like, oh, it's not in our budget. I'm like, no worries. I think the way I charge is for obviously my time, my expertise, and the way that I do my content creation. And I think I think some of that comes into who you are as a person. I think I'm always thinking about my prices and doing research on that to see where I'm
and there's
standing.
no rules to say what you're your own business, you charge what you want.
Exactly, yeah.
But I think, and I've said it about videographers and photographers as well, this is not just bashing content creators. I think your price needs to reflect your work.
Yeah.
If your work is mediocre, you need to charge mediocre. If your work is top quality, charge what you want.
Yeah.
Charge top quality rates.
Deserve it, yeah.
Whether you're filming an iPhone or an FX3, it doesn't matter.
I agree.
But I do feel like there is a blurred line with people at the minute in the industry, and there needs to be, I don't know, then people just need to open their eyes to what they're worth.
I agree, and I think I've had comments in my personal life from people that are not content creators, and this could also come maybe from the stance of photographers and videographers, is that like, well, you've just got a phone. Yet when I produced my content, I've got people that are saying to me, how have you done that on an iPhone? There is a lot more to it than just me holding my iPhone on my little gimbal. I'm seeing the opportunities.
And there's so many settings on that little phone as well.
Exactly, yeah. And it's knowing what to have on, what to have off. And it's seeing those moments.
Yeah.
And that's what I've always been. I'd like to say, I don't like talking positively about myself. I'm very bad at that. But that is one thing I've always enjoyed, and I think I'm quite good at, is seeing the moment.
Yeah.
And that's why I called myself The Moment, because I spot things that other people don't.
Yeah.
I'm always the girl with her phone in her hand. Like, I've got videos on my phone of all my friends and family, but if there's nothing of me, if I went missing, well, actually, you could open up my Instagram, but they'd be like, does she look like that? But yeah, I think you've got to have that creative flair. It's so anyone can pick up an iPhone and go to a wedding and say, oh, I'm a content creator 'cause I've got an iPhone.
Yeah.
But it's
But
not
the thing is, you
case.
know your levels. So I mean, not many people know this, but I actually asked you to come and work with me.
Yeah, he did.
And I
said,
was willing
"No,
to
thanks."
sit and like help you learn how to cameras and stuff. Like you've
Yeah.
asked questions today about the cameras,
Yeah,
but you obviously knew that you weren't ready to take that on, or
yeah,
you wanted to work on your own business, which is awesome. I love that.
yeah.
And I won't ever sort of force you to do anything, but it took a lot for me to ask someone.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't have asked just anyone. But
Thanks.
seeing what you can do with a phone, it would be awesome in the future to see what you can do with a camera
Thank you. Yeah,
and
I really
proper
appreciate
like
that.
editing softwares and stuff
Yeah,
like
I
that.
mean, I've always had such an interest in cameras, or as I said to you earlier,
Yeah.
since I was like 9 years old.
Yeah.
And I've actually got a friend of mine, he's a content creator for businesses only,
Yeah.
but he uses a camera, and his videography is insane because
Yeah.
it's a lot more like the depth and the quality is amazing. And I always wanted to say to him, can I have a go on it? Like, can I
Yeah.
see how I am? And when you asked me, I was so appreciative, and I definitely do want to give it a go. But yeah, just at the moment, I've got no capacity
No.
for it. I'm like, but and do you know what? It's funny going back to like content creators, photographers, videographers. I so far have had more tension from photographers than videographers, which
Yeah.
baffled me because most of what I do is video. And I was at a wedding last summer, and there was a photographer and a videographer and me. And the videographer, he's called TC Weddings, I think his name is.
Tom Cullen?
It might be him.
I just know the TC, I think.
And I actually screenshotted it before I come out because I wanted to read it to you. TC Weddings. TC Wedding Videos, sorry. And he messaged me the day that I uploaded the couple's reel. So
Yeah.
bearing in mind, he's probably not even like transferred their footage yet
Yeah.
to a computer because mine's in 24 hours. And he messaged and said, hi Ellie, great working with you yesterday. Just watched your video. It's brilliant. He's called Tony. And I just
Tony.
thought, wow, like what a lovely message
Yeah.
from someone else who's doing video. You've had to watch your client, like your couple, already put it out on socials while you're still editing your video.
Yeah.
And I just thought that was really refreshing and really
Again,
nice.
that's a person who's securing their own content.
Yeah.
And this is what I will say. Like I can understand why it would get under certain people's feet having that go out the next day.
Oh, of course, I do as well.
But we've all got stipulations. My contract is 3-month turnaround, but my turnaround is really, really good. And compared to other videographers, it's lightning.
Yeah.
So you could look at it in a similar sort of way.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? People edit to their own speed. If you're a year behind, that's on you.
Yeah.
And if you can turn a wedding around in a week, awesome.
Great, yeah.
So, but what I will say is for all the people that have got a problem with content creators, how many photos at a wedding and videos at weddings do you take behind the scenes for your stories?
Yeah.
We all need it.
Exactly.
And if you've got a content creator at your wedding on side, you guarantee you're going to get some bits for you to take
100%.
home. And
Yeah.
even if you just send the raws or put something together,
Yeah.
like it's a community, and there's this. I say it all the time. It's got to be community over competition, and there's not enough of it at the minute. I don't think.
I agree, and I think that one of the things I'm really passionate about is saying to photographers and videographers that may be nervous about having a content creator.
Yeah.
For me, it's all about communication and helping each other out.
Yeah.
I've got 2 examples. I did a wedding with David Dean, photographic, mention him again. And he, whilst we was on our break, he put some images together for the couple. And he wanted to go and show them after the wedding breakfast. And I captured it whilst he was showing them. And he was over the moon. I recently shared it on my Instagram as a reel.
Yeah.
And he was over the moon with that moment. And he said, thank you so much for capturing that. And when I worked with him, there was moments that he was missing. He was on the other side of the room and something really good was happening. And I got his attention.
Yeah.
And he did it back all day. He'd be like, Ellie, quick, come and see this. There was another photographer, amazing guy called Nick Davies. I worked with him at the Ravenswood. There was this one shot that I'd seen another photographer do, and it's where they're at their top table, and they sort of both look behind each other. And I said, try this. And he said, oh, I've never done that before. He emailed messaged me the next month, like, this is this shot that you suggested. Looks great. Love it.
Yeah.
And it's all about just helping each other. Like, and I am that person that I do make a little joke. I go, if I'm in the way, just tell me, Ellie, get out of the way, just move, like just wave me out the way. And one thing I do every time I get to a wedding and we've got that little lull before the ceremony, I go with the photographer and the videographer and I go,
Yeah.
right, what's your plan? Where are you standing? This is what I usually do and it works. I normally kneel down and the photographer shoots over me. Does that work for you? If they say no, then we work it out.
Yeah.
And so far, it's been all right. I've actually had them saying, Ellie, thank you. Like, you've been really thoughtful. And that's what I want to ensure, is that other creatives feel comfortable around me.
Yeah.
And vice versa. It shouldn't just me doing all the legwork. Like, do you need help with this? Do you need help with that? And even when the photographers are taking the shots, I'll fluff the dress up and help them out.
Yeah.
Because that makes me happy. You know, we're spending 10 hours together.
Yeah.
I don't want us not to get on.
Being awkward.
Yeah, I've had awkward moments in 10-hour days and it's not nice. And I think, oh, could do without this, but you just got to just keep smiling.
There just needs to be a bridge, man, between content creators and other people. It will come.
Yeah.
It'll come. People just need to understand. But what message could you give to photographers and videographers that maybe don't like the idea of working with a content creator?
Get your couple to hire me.
Get your couple to hire you.
Yeah.
I like that.
No.
So you said you don't like talking highly of yourself. But...
No, of course, I'm joking. No, I think, do you know what? My advice is, if you're really worried, if they haven't reached out to you, I tend to reach out to photographers.
Yeah.
Not all the time, but sometimes I will. Reach out to them, have a chat, have a little message back and forth. Like, because I get it, you know, I get it if you're if you've worked with another supplier that was a bit of a, you know,
Yeah.
you're going to be on edge. I get that. I'd be the same. So just communicate. I think that's the biggest thing for me, is communication.
Yeah.
And again, is the biggest feedback that I've got from photographers and videographers is, oh, you were great because you didn't get in the way and you communicated where you are. And also, there's been moments where the photographer said to me, oh, Ellie, you're just in the way a little bit. And I'm like, oh my God, sorry. You know, I didn't realise. But that's my biggest advice, is communication, because if you don't communicate and you're stewing on it and then it gets to the day and it's a bit frosty and you'll be like, hi. You know, I've turned up to weddings and I've had photographers that have been frosty with me. And I've had actually ones that have directly said to me, oh, I've never really understood content creators, I don't get it. And then they've messaged me the next day and said, a really nice message like, oh, you've changed my thoughts, or I get it now. And I think it's all about communication. And to any content creators that are watching, be respectful and know that even though I think everyone's equal, the photographer is extremely important.
Yeah.
Because they're just a tradition. And you also need to be respectful. You know, don't go to weddings with a chip on your shoulder because you've heard that photographers are angry at...
Yeah.
Because you might get there and the photographer might be absolutely lovely. So...
Say there's a stigma both sides, right?
Both sides. And I think everyone just go as your best self, your happy self, and there shouldn't be a problem until there's a reason that there's a problem. So yeah, I think communicate and just be nice, and rainbows and smiles and happiness.
Man. I like that.
That's what I say.
Hopefully people watching this, and we get a lot of content creators, photographers, videographers watch this as well. Hopefully people that don't understand content creators just yet can watch this and sort of understand a bit more as well. And there's some great tips there as well for suppliers as well.
Yeah, I think
make contact before, man.
Make contact, and I think that if you're going into a wedding day, whether you're a content creator or a photographer or a video, and you'll be like, oh, like there's a content creator here, oh, there's a photographer here, oh, you're winding yourself up.
Yeah.
You could end up having a lovely day. I was so nervous when I had my first wedding of a videographer, a photographer, and me, because doing that walking down the aisle shot. Walking backwards with two other men next to me, I thought, I'm going to fall over.
Yeah.
But they were great about it. You're not in each other's way. And I think, you've just got to... I can overthink because I want to be a people pleaser. I want to please everyone.
Yeah.
But you can't. You've just got to go as yourself, be respectful of people's space and time, and, not take the mick, basically.
And just fucking enjoy your day.
Don't fucking bring a camera if you're a content creator.
Facts.
No.
And don't bring an iPhone if you're a videographer.
No, don't be doing behind the scenes, because come on now. Not fair.
Cool. So now that we've got that out of the way, looking ahead, how do you see the content creation space evolving over the next 5 to 10 years?
I think at the moment, it's not going anywhere purely because as human beings, we're instant gratification.
Yeah.
We want things now. We don't want to wait. You know, you go to the gym once and you're like, why have I not got a six pack? That's me at the moment.
Yeah.
It's not going to happen.
Same.
Do you know what I mean? It's tough. And then
Yeah.
you go home and get McDonald's and you're like, why have I not got a six pack?
I got that wedding season belly now.
Literally. So I think it's not going anywhere because I think people are enjoying this slightly different style. Like
Yeah.
I've seen some content creators do some stunning abroad weddings. Like that's a goal of mine. I know we discussed
Yeah.
that earlier, to have an abroad wedding. I did have an inquiry recently, and I would just love it. And I think it's great because you're literally going to have, the way I see it is, you've got a digital album of all of these different styles of content. How could you say no to that?
Yeah.
If you've got the budget for all three or two, do it, because they're different styles, they're different angles, and at the end of the day, me and a photographer cannot be in two places at once.
Yeah.
We're a one-man band, so things that the photographer might unfortunately miss, I might get,
Yeah.
and vice versa. So I don't think they're going to be going anywhere, and I think, I'm not sure how, but I think that content creators will evolve more and more and more. Maybe, you know, I've seen some that are being hired the day before the wedding,
Yeah.
and they're capturing that pre-wedding family party day, and I think that's great because
Yeah.
you're getting all these funny videos, because there's going to be people at your wedding from your work, loved ones, that can't make it, and when you're getting stuff from me the next day, you can just WhatsApp like, oh,
Yeah.
this was my first kiss, this was this, whilst you wait for the other stuff. But the other stuff is just as incredible, and it's
I
worth
think
it.
you've created a good point there, that like there are people that can't make it, unfortunately,
Yeah.
for whatever reason, and you've got the capability to get something the very next day,
Yeah.
whereas a lot of photographers and videographers can't or won't.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, imagine like half your work people not being able to come because you're doing an abroad wedding.
Yeah.
And you can just message the group chat the next day, like, I did a thing.
Yeah.
I've got a ring on
Yeah,
it.
just don't tell anyone.
Yeah, like I did a thing.
Yeah.
Here I am. But yeah, I think yeah, it's just a different style. But I am very conscious and very understanding of why
Yeah.
some people have issues. However, there is, like anything for me, there is a line. I think when some other professionals are doing Instagram stories about
Yeah.
certain suppliers, I think, come on, like, let's not do that. Let's not bash each other. Let's
Yeah.
support each other. But likewise, I think I understand some people's frustrations when content creators are taking the piss and they aren't respectful. So yeah, that's my advice to everyone. Just be
Yeah.
respectful
Nice.
and have, like, I don't know, wing mirrors on your head so you can actually see that you're not,
Yeah.
you know, ruining shots.
Yeah.
And these things are going to happen. You're going to step in the way of things, or you're going to have to do something.
Oh, I'm under
again.
no disillusion that I've got in a lot of photographers' photos,
Yeah, and
but a lot of
I've got
photographers
some.
have got in my video.
Oh, me too. Me too. Sometimes I've been at a wedding and I've been like really gracious
Yeah.
with the photographer, and they've not back, and I'm like, okay, noted.
Yeah.
But I'm still that same gracious person all day,
Yeah.
because that's what's important.
Exactly.
So
For the couple, right?
for the couple, I mean, I did a wedding at a church, and I don't know what are they reverends or
Priests. I
priests,
think, yeah.
reverends? They emailed me and was like, you was amazing. The photographer was running around everywhere.
Yeah.
He was discreet.
That's
So,
nice because I've never had an email from a priest.
well, I must say it was in my top 10 moments
Yeah.
of last year. You know, a priest was like, you are amazing. I was like, oh, literally,
Hallelujah.
Hallelujah, the Father of God. I'm accepted.
Cool, mate. It's been great having you on the show and catching up and learning a bit more about what you do as well. If people are after a content creator, where can they find you to get you booked in?
So currently, everybody, it's just Instagram. Facebook, I do have a Facebook, got reviews on there, don't really post on there. It's just Facebook, the app, like the style
Facebook's
of it,
yeah.
the layout of it, ugly. I just don't post that much on there, probably should. So it is Instagram, but this year I'm planning to build myself a website.
Cool.
Woo, insert a little like crowd cheer. Woo.
I think one of them buttons does that. I
Okay,
don't know.
great. Because if it doesn't,
I haven't set it
woo.
up properly. I don't know what I'm doing.
He doesn't know what he's doing. I'm concerned, everybody.
Me too.
Really concerned. Yeah, no, I think Instagram, pop me a message. Honestly, I'm really approachable. I'm really friendly.
Cool.
So yeah, just DM me.
DM.
Slide into my DMs.
Single as well.
Yeah. Lads.
But we'll make sure you're tagged in everything that we put up anyway, so that people can
Likewise.
get in touch. One question before we go: who do you want to see on the podcast in the future?
I've got 2 people.
Okay.
Have I? Hang on.
You can't have more than 2.
Oh, okay. First
Pick your
one.
favourite two.
Oh, fine. Like, wow, that's hard. Right, the first one, WB Photography.
Yeah.
Will. I don't know his last name.
Burville.
Okay, that it starts with a B. Sorry, Will.
Photography.
Will Bobography. He's got such a good energy. If you want to feel comfortable in front of the camera, he's your guy.
Yeah.
Like if you're really nervous, tag him in this thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
He's brilliant. And the second one, because I love his style and genuinely I think he'll be my wedding photographer. And likewise because he brings such good energy to the couples. Like when we was filming in the back of my videos, you can just hear him going, "Oh, you're so fit," or "You're so good looking." David Dean Photographic. Honestly, if I got £1 for every time I recommended that man, I'd be on a yacht somewhere. So yeah, David Dean and Will.
Cool.
Because they just got good energy and they're not afraid to give their opinions, which is perfect for a podcast. So
Yeah.
Joe, slide into their DMs.
I'll slide into their DMs.
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 Slide into their DMs.
Yeah.
And sorry, boys, if you're like, oh, don't want to go on a podcast.
I don't want to speak to Joe.
I've dobbed you in now. So you're doing it.
Well, I'm going to send him a message anyway and get violent with
Like Ellie said, they'll roll their eyes.
Ellie said she'll give you 20 quid if you come on.
Yeah, I'll give them 20 quid. Or a delivery voucher, whatever they want.
It's been great having you on the show and I hope people sort of latch onto this.
I hope so too. I hope that we can all just
get along
and just be happy and just, And also, anyone that does know me personally knows I never go on camera. Ever. So
privileged.
I'm probably not going to wash it back.
Don't matter.
Throw up.
I won't show you the edit anyway.
Yeah. What?
What?
No.
Fade out.
No.